Welcome to the broadcast. Our sign language interpreter is Pretty Janet and I am Ashley Mazuri. A chilling new pattern is emerging across East Africa. Now, human rights defenders are raising the alarm, accusing the governments of Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania of a coordinated campaign to abduct, oppress and torture critics. From opposition leaders to activists, a disturbing number of voices challenging these regimes are now facing terror-related charges, abduction or worse. The latest shockwave comes with the alleged abduction and torture of activist Mwabili Mwagodi in Tanzania, an incident met with stark silence from Nairobi, despite similar treatment of Kenya's own Boniface Mwangi. Chris Tairu starts us off.
A disturbing pattern is emerging in East Africa. Critics of the Kenyan, Ugandan and Tanzanian governments are increasingly being arrested, held incommunicado, tortured and then released without charges back to their home countries. The silence from the three regimes on these human rights infringements and diplomatic breaches strongly suggests a coordinated effort. It appears Kenya's President William Ruto, Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni, and Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu Hassan are all operating from the same playbook.
In East Africa, democracy is in recession, it is backsliding, and there is no exception to it in any of the countries.
It started with the arrest of Uganda opposition leader Kizza Besigye in Kenya when he had attended the launch of a book by PLP party leader Martha Karua, another harsh critic of the President Ruto's regime.
So we are back home. I am back home.
What would follow is the arrest of Kenya's human rights activist Boniface Mwangi and Ugandan lawyer and rights activist Agatha Athwire while they were in Tanzania to listen to a case where opposition leader in Tanzania Tundu Lissu has been charged with treason.
There is a very determined collaboration by the three countries, particularly the three regimes, to regionalize authoritarianism. And therefore, authoritarianism is beginning to become one of the pillars of regional integration, which it was not supposed to be in the first place because it's not part of our shared values.
The arrest, torture and later release without charges of activist Mwabili Mwagodi is a clear indication that activists from all the three countries should think twice before traveling to any of the countries. The government's silence on these incidents confirms their actions are unlikely to cease anytime soon.
If governments are working in cahoot, then citizens also need to work in cahoot in order to protect the democratic space. Time is going to come when we now will have to have protests across the countries, the three countries. Why not?
It is important to note that all the three presidents are seeking re-election in the coming months and are already campaigning. In Tanzania, voters head to the polls in October this year, just 2 months away. Opposition leader Tundu Lissu remains detained on treason charges. In Uganda, elections are scheduled for January next year, with President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni seeking his 7th term since 1986 with the NRM party, facing opposition from Bobi Wine. Official opposition leader Kizza Besigye has been in detention since his arrest in November of last year. In Kenya, while elections are still about 24 months away, there has been a rise in chaos, property destruction linked to anti-government protests and abductions, with President Ruto himself having confirmed that his government is indeed abducting Kenyans. However, all is not lost for human rights defenders in Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania, given that there are still international laws that they can still use in case their rights are violated.
The African Union is on our side. It's on our side because the protocol establishing the Peace and Security Council of the African Union establishes a legal and normative framework that is people-centered and that is human rights-centered. It is centered on the rights of our people.
All the three presidents continue to maintain their silence on the matter. Chris Tairu, KTN, Nairobi.
Now, after a disturbing pattern of killing